All right, welcome back, art class. Today we're going to learn about our third and final type of balance. Yesterday, we learned about formal and informal. Remember, formal was the same on both sides, and informal was different, but it's still balanced. Remember, just because it's different on both sides doesn't mean it is informal balance. It has to balance to be informal balance. So today we're going to learn about our third balance, and that is radial balance. So here's an example of radial balance, and each table is going to have a packet like this with examples of radial balance. These are forms of mandalas, and they're laminated. Please treat them with respect. That show different ways to do radial balance. Now, a lot of people get radial and formal balance confused. And the reason is, if I cut a radial in half, it's the same on both sides. The difference between that and formal is that the radial is usually circular and it radiates from the center. So, like a sun, it radiates from the center. I like to tell people that you can only cut formal in half once. You can cut radial in half many different ways and it'll be the same all the way around. So that's the difference. Radial radiates from the center. It does the same thing all around. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up for that. So these are a great resource. Keep them in mind. So I have a piece of paper, and everyone should have one. And what you're going to do is you are going to fold it in half, and I'm sorry you can't fully see me doing it because, like I said, I'm one-handed. Now, for this project, I really want you to try and make sure to fold it nicely, corner to corner. I can't because I'm one-handed, but try and do a nice job. Don't do a sloppy job folding that in half. And then unfold it. And I want you to fold it going back the opposite direction because we want it to lay flat. And when you fold it one way, it wants to pop up, but when you fold it both ways, it doesn't. And see how I have that line right there? Then I'm going to have you fold it the opposite direction, so kind of like making a plus sign. And you're going to do the same thing. Fold it one way and then fold it the other so it doesn't pop up. All right, I'm going to have the sub pause the video and let everybody get to this point. All right, so everybody should have folded it. I'm sorry, I know there was me scuffling trying to do that one-handed. Both directions so it's laying flat. If you haven't done it both ways, like a hinge, it's going to be popping up and in the way. So I've got it this way. So I have 4 areas. Now I'm going to turn it so it looks like a diamond, and I'm going to fold this guy to this guy. Just like that. And once again, I want to fold it again, go in the opposite direction, because if you see how it's popping up off of the table? We want it to lay flat, so I'm just going to go the opposite direction. So it's laying flat. And then I'm going to turn it so that that fold is going this way and the X is here, and I'm going to do this to this. Once again, both directions. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it so this is going this way. I'm sorry, I lied. This, because we already did that, this to this. And keep in mind it should be easier for you because you have 2 hands, so you can do a much better job of folding it so that it's right where it needs to be than I can. And then once again, going back the opposite way. So that it lays flat. It should not be popping up too much. So if you look real close, come close, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. 8 sections. Everyone should have 8 sections. I'm going to let the sub pause the video and let everyone get to that point. Once everyone's to that point, we can continue. All right, welcome back. Everyone has their 8 sections and their folded piece of paper. These sections are important. Think of them as pie pieces. We want each of these sections to match. So if we look at some of our examples, we notice that all the way around it's the same. If we look at a student example, we notice that all the way around it's the same. Now, as you notice, it's not perfect. It's okay to not be perfect as long as you're trying your best. One of the things I've learned is that you will always mess up some part of this. So the best way to keep yourself from messing up and not being able to go back is to draw lightly. Those of you who had me last semester or quarter, remember that we drew lightly on our Celtic knots because we didn't want ghost lines. Another trick to make sure it's the same is to turn your paper while you work. A lot of people try and draw something going all the way around, and they end up with a big thing here and a small thing here because their perception of how it is wrong. So I'm going to turn one of these sections towards me so that the V is towards me, and I'm going to do just a triangle. Now you can do whatever you want, once again, as long as it's appropriate. Then I'm going to turn it so that the V is facing me. I'm going to line it up with this guy. And I'm going to draw another triangle. Then I'm going to turn it. Notice how I'm turning the paper. And I'm drawing lightly, so I could erase this if I want. If I don't turn the paper, it's going to turn out kind of bad. Turn the paper. That one's a little taller, so if I was being a perfectionist, I might go back and fix that. I want to be straight across. So see, I fixed that line because I was going a little haywire on it. Turn it again. Turn it again. Remember, I want that V facing me. Now I can see that I'm off. I've gotten bigger. So remember I said that that happens? It's okay. What I'm going to do is I think these two are actually my outliers, the ones I started with. So I'm going to take my eraser, and I drew it lightly so I can fix it. And then I have my design. Notice that everything is the same. Now there's one other way you can do it other than the same thing over and over again. And that is every other. You can also draw on the lines if you want. So let's do on the lines. I'm going to do every one again. And then I'll show you every other. And remember, you have those packets. You can take a look at them for ideas because you don't have to just do triangles. Triangles are just really easy to draw with one hand. And remember, I'm one-handed. So now I have that drawn. Now, let's go about the rule about every other on the inside. I have my 8 puzzle pieces, and remember I was turning as I worked. So right here, I want to do a circle. Now, I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to draw another circle. Skip that one, draw another circle. Skip that one, draw another circle. And that still works radial balance. Now I can't go circle, nothing, nothing, circle, nothing, nothing, circle, because then all of a sudden I have two next to each other. So I can do every single one the same or every other one the same. And I'm going to add in triangle. Notice how I move my paper. Because if you don't move your paper, it's not going to look as good, because you're going to end up with things buckling. So that's what I have so far. Maybe I want to put a letter in. I'm going to use F for fun. And I'm going to skip this one. And I did my F facing down. So this one I'm going to do F for fun. Skip this one. F for fun. And remember, I might have to erase this if it doesn't look good. Skip one. F for fun. So I need to fix this F. But see how I can use anything? I could use circles. Okay, I'm not going to keep going, but you understand I could go around the whole thing with those circles and it could look pretty cool. You are trying to get 10 or more layers. I consider a layer every time you have a line going all the way around. I'll count these. So 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 if I finished this, and then 5 layer. So I want 7 layers, and I want you to take up the paper. I don't want some little inky-dinky thing in the middle. You have this big paper, so let's take it up. So let's look at some examples of that before I let you go start practicing drawing your lines. There's this. See how much of the paper they took up? This one's my example. This. And this. These are all student done other than the one I said was my example. So 10 or more layers. And really nice. So like this one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 layers. Okay? So start drawing those lines and I will meet you on another video for the rest. Have a nice day.